And basically we're just gonna like, I'm just gonna finish this sketch, and then I have my tamagotchi ready to like open up. I don't know why, I feel like even before I started this live, I had to like prep myself for it. I don't know, I did this thing where like I have the camera facing me and I'm like talk like in my head, but also like whisper. No, I'm like, okay, I'm gonna talk about this, I'm gonna talk about that, and then I'm like, wait, hold on, I'm like kind of cooking, so I was like, why am I not live right now? I don't know. I think lately I've just been like overthinking because now I have to get back into the groove of things since I've been out of the country for 20 days. Like, okay, I'm so sorry, y'all. Like, I'm back now. I'm back. This is probably the latest I've ever gone live, but the jet lag is bad. Like, it's like really bad. I haven't been able to really sleep at night. So, and what time is it right now? It's like 11:37. So, honestly, it's not looking good. And usually I go to bed at like 10 p.m. and it's 11 right now, and I'm like pretty wide awake, and it's killing me. I've been back in the States for like 4 or 5 days or something like that, something along the lines of that. And honestly, everyone should go to Japan. Like, everyone should go to Japan. And I just think that, I don't know, it was a fun like learning experience, and it just made me, I wish that our train like system worked like theirs. It's just like top notch the way that their train system is out there. Like, what do you mean the train comes every 4 minutes? Like, out here the train comes every like 15, and it only goes like west and east, but out there you have so many lines, so you can like take and practically go all over Japan. But like, our train station, you can't go all over Phoenix. Like, it's just no. But yeah, I'm super excited to be back, and I don't know, I feel like I should talk about a little bit. Well, let me talk about this sketch before I talk about this. I'm super excited to open it up. But yeah, so if you've been watching my lives or any of my videos lately, I've been trying to push myself to like draw people, which is why I kind of pick the most dynamic pose, just because I feel like one of my problems is that I'm not very, in my opinion, I don't think I'm very good at drawing people. So I want to get like really good at drawing people. So I was like, okay, no, we need to like push ourselves outside of our comfort zone to do that. So this is kind of like my way of doing it. And a lot of the times my people are stiff. So when I choose my references, I like to choose a pose that's very like dynamic, or the body is like moving. So this is why I kind of have like a pose like this. I really like using dancers as my references because I just love the way that their like body flows just so like seamlessly, and there's just so much movement. Well, obviously because they're dancers, but yeah, this is kind of why I chose this pose. And I was a strong, like, I guess a couple years ago, like, draw the hands behind the back because I can't draw the hands. Or I would just not, I wouldn't draw the feet with, like, just, like, the foot without anything, like, covering it. So I think that's also why I'm trying to push myself outside of, like, the box. Because, like, doing this hand, I'm gonna have to fix it, and I'm very aware I'm gonna have to fix it, and I'm not mentally prepared for that yet. Same with like the foot, but I think honestly the foot looks pretty good. To me it does. And yeah, but I did realize when I started sketching it, it is, at least to me, it's a little off center. Well, it's not off centered, it's just that because her arm is like almost touching the edge, I feel like there should be a little bit more going on right here, which is why I'm probably gonna wrap like a snake around and kind of like have it going up so it's more, I don't know, like symmetrical. I also feel like with the figure that when you look at it, I feel like you look at the figure and then, well, if you start from here, you look at the figure and then your eyes come off. and I don't want people's eyes to come off of my painting or my artwork. So I'm trying to create some sort of like motion with the clouds where it wraps you back in to the painting. But this is kind of just like the sketch. Although I don't know if you guys can tell. I honestly can't really. I can kind of see it on camera, but not really. I can only really see the figure, but I can't actually see like all the other stuff that I put around. Okay, so after I've kind of explained this, honestly, I'm really excited to open this. I'm like super excited. Okay, so basically, well, let me tell you all about my trip. Okay, so I was out of the country for 20 days. I planned this trip like I think in like December or something like that, and I just asked a bunch of people if they wanted to go. So like my siblings went and like some of their friends went, so it was like pretty fun. It was like 5 of us, and so we spent 10 days in Japan. We spent 5 in Tokyo, which is where I got this. Honestly, I feel like if I didn't go to Tokyo, I probably would have never gotten this, but like I was like, you know what, I'm here, I'm gonna buy it. So that's what I did. And then we spent 5 days in Osaka. I think my only problem with Osaka, because we did so much in Tokyo in the first 5 days. Like my feet needed like a break and my legs were tired, and I was just like, I was doing way too much the first 5 days. So like when I got to Osaka, all I wanted to do was like rot. It was just like, I know like it's not really like the way things were supposed to go. Like I really wish I went to Kyoto and I didn't, but it's fine. I'll just have to go back. But and there was even like a mall in the right by where our what was it? We were in like a condo. So there was like a mall by the condo, but I didn't even get to go to the mall. We went to like Universal's. That was fun. And I don't know, there wasn't I went to also this super popular mall in Osaka because I heard the shopping there was really good. So I went there. But I think for the most part I didn't actually utilize going to Osaka the way that I wanted to, I guess. And I think the next time, well, not think, I definitely know the next time I'm definitely gonna have to pace out my days more than just like go, 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 go. Because go, 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 go burnt me out for like the rest of the trip. And then after that, we went to Thailand for 9 or 10 days, and we were in Bangkok for 9 or 10 days. That was fun. Well, I've already went like solo, so it was very interesting to see like other people's reactions being there. I think a lot of the group had to get used to I guess kind of like the Thai culture, because I think Japan, like since Japan is like first world, it's still kind of similar to like the United States. Obviously it's not similar, but like it's easier to get used to like I don't know, not even culture in Japan, because they're very like mindful of how they act outside of their house. And like we're I'm not gonna lie, we're like super loud and like yeah, 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 like the typical Americans, which is like we were like, okay, let's not be the typical American and be like super loud and obnoxious. So I think that was kind of like a little like thing we had to be more aware of. And the things about the trash cans is true. The way I would like have trash, I'd be like, oh my gosh, like I just want to throw this away and there's no trash can. It honestly really killed me. But I think like when the group definitely went to Thailand, since it's like a third world, it's very different. I was like, okay, by the way, don't drink the water. And they're like, what do you mean you don't drink like I don't know. I was just telling them to be super cautious to make sure that you don't get sick out there. So I think other than that, they like the shopping and stuff like that, the like night markets. That was pretty cool. Oh my gosh, I just realized that this is taped and I have like nails on. Also, okay, so I have the Tamagotchi Generation 1, and my sister got the Generation 2. She killed hers already. She's a bad mom. That's all I can say. Would it be bad if I just ripped this? Like, I'm thinking about just ripping this. Okay, maybe I shouldn't. Like, they have directions on here, but also, it's, like, all in Japanese. Like, if you could see. Dang, like, I need to translate this. Okay, hold on. Guys, give me, like, 1 second, because I have to translate this, because I didn't realize Well, actually, it's not that surprising that it's all in Japanese because I got it in Japan, so like, of course. Where's my like translation app? Okay. Ooh, not Thai. Japanese. Okay. Wait, no, I need to take a picture of this. Okay. Why does my camera look so bad? I don't know if it's like dirty or something. Like, wow. Okay, I need to retake it because obviously my camera didn't like do justice the way that it was supposed to. I don't know. I'm not too much of a fan of this model of iPhone. I just feel like the camera is not as good as this camera, in my opinion. Okay, so here's it like translated since I like can't read it. And basically it was like rice and snacks. Give it to you. That's crazy. Let's do it. Check the condition of interesting. Okay. If you love me, turn off the light. Okay. Let's play a good health game. Even the Tamagotchi discipline is crazy. Okay. Sometimes this is the time to come out one. What? Okay. Let's honestly, I think maybe the translation on this is just like not good, but like I think I got the memo. Discipline is crazy. Disciplining, like, wow, I was not expecting that. Okay, hold on, give me a second. Okay, so I have some of my like drawing tools and stuff, so I'm just gonna get into it and like low-key hope for the best. I just don't want to get up and get scissors. And I feel like if I just start like tearing it, like y'all are gonna judge the hell out of me. Because I low-key just want to rip the box open. But I was like, okay, maybe, ooh, it's like bending. Okay, let's not do that. Are we gonna result to ripping the box open? Maybe. Guys, just like, don't judge me. Like, all right, I'll get some scissors. I'll be right back. Okay, y'all, I'm back. Oh my gosh, let me not. If it falls, I'm actually gonna like trip out. Trip out. I just feel like every time I have nails, I just like can't function. I actually ended up getting them shorter. Well, not shorter. Well, okay, originally they were long. And then I realized that I can't do anything, so I got them shorter. But now that they're growing out, they're kind of like getting long again. Well, not that much longer, but like they were like really long. And so I'm about ready to take these nails off, to be honest. But since it's like, I don't know if it's a bad thing that I have acrylic and gel, that'll be a problem for them. Okay, so oh, this thing is like really cute. What is that on there? Okay, so here is it out of the box. This is like a really cute, like, I'll probably just like hang it right here. Ooh, should I like, oh, damn, I just dropped it. A bad mother already. I haven't turned this thing on, but I think I have to, okay, let's see. So it has like this thing, but I think... Okay, so I guess we have to wait for the egg to hatch. I don't know if y'all can see. This already sounds really annoying, to be honest. Okay, let's see. Ball train. Pinch the joints to unlock the chain. Okay. Oh, I think it's for like right here. Am I actually gonna read the instructions? Maybe. Maybe I could just wing it. I'll just leave the instructions in case like I need them, but like, do I want to read it? Not really, so I'm not going to. Where am I gonna put this? I'll just put it like right here. And let's see. Can y'all see it from right here? I guess, yeah. Y'all can see it. Anyway, I don't think anyone's watching, but it is right here. And I guess it'll just beep when it hatches. This is gonna be very interesting because I don't know what I'm gonna do once it starts hatching. Okay. Especially since my sisters died. That's like so crazy to me. It's like she didn't even have the thing for a week and it already died. So I don't know if you just like restart it when it dies or if I would have to like literally buy a new one. I'd be devastated if I had to buy a new one. That'd be that's crazy work. That's how I would create it. I would just make people buy a new one. Okay, so now Pinterest, here I come. I need to find a reference for the snake wrapped around the legs because basically like I kind of have like an outline of what I want to do, but ooh, let me get an actual eraser because if you see how dirty this eraser is, it's just like not gonna do me justice. And honestly, really, I'm just gonna be doing the what's it called, the sketch of this before, like, for most of this stream. It's just gonna be the sketch. I don't think I'm gonna like fully start yet, just because I'm not exactly 100% sure on certain design elements if I'm gonna keep them or not. Or I could just wing it and just start putting paint on here. By the way, this is on like canvas pad, so I'm like one of those people, since it's like not on like one of my super nice canvases, I think I'm like willing to like, I guess, no, that I don't think that's true. I think it's like slightly true. Like I don't have as much of an emotional attachment to it, to what why is it, I need this to be like stable. I just didn't want to, I have another easel thing, but I just didn't want to bring that one out because it's in a box somewhere. Is this still on camera? Yeah, it's still on camera. I just didn't want to take it out of the box because we're still in the process of moving. So I told myself that I wasn't going to make this an oil painting because I'm not exactly like sure, I guess, for like the drying time, and I don't want to be moving around wet like wet art. That sounds super problematic, honestly, and a lot of extra work that I don't want to do it, like moving around. Like that's why a lot of my oil paintings that I did, it was before my trip, and then like a week before my trip I was like, all right, I'm not doing any more oil, and they just barely kind of dried. Like they're like dried to the touch. But I feel like if I really like wanted to just like, it would probably just, yeah. What is, my cat is like staring at something and I'm like, what are you staring at? Should I be concerned? He's like staring at like nothing. At least to me it looks like nothing. But also there was like a cricket in here. Maybe he's actually doing his job. The cricket's been in here for like days. But probably not. I think he's just like, I don't know. That cat's kind of senile, I'm not gonna lie. He's like losing it a little bit. Like even yesterday he was like running around and stuff. He was doing the most. But Yeah, I definitely know, like, during the stream, I would like to finish this sketch. And honestly, it's probably just really the snake and probably, like, honestly, the hands don't need to look exactly the way it needs to look. I don't think. Because if I'm going to put paint on it anyway, I can always, like, move it around. I think as long as I have, like, a strong idea of what I'm doing, then it's fine. I just want to make sure that the snake looks a certain way, because I'm going to have the head right here. And then, oh wait, but y'all can't really see it. Hold on. I'm going to make my lines a little darker so then you guys can kind of see, like, the design that I'm going for this, like, painting. I'm actually surprised that I haven't, like, lost all, like, not lost because I write down my ideas, but sometimes I'm more inclined to do an idea if it's, like, a new idea. Even though my notes of ideas, I don't think any of them have actually been, like, created, if that makes sense. I think maybe 1 or 2 of them, but all the I don't like the, okay, you know what, it's fine. But all of the ideas that I've actually put on there, I haven't actually started any of them besides, like, 1 or 2, and they didn't really end up the way that I wanted them to. This was just kind of, like, on a whim. Like, I was, like, in my car, and I was listening to, what did I listen to? I was listening to, like, rock music. And I was like, oh my gosh, this would be such a great idea if I did this. So that's kind of what brought on this painting. Honestly, this figure was supposed to be a different position, but I couldn't find, like, a reference that I really liked. So we're going with this one. Obviously, I do think my original idea was still pretty good, and I still might do it if I just take, like, a reference photo of myself. It's just, like, I don't know, I just kind of don't want to do that. Well, it's not that I kind of don't want to do it, it's just, like, man, I better start getting flexible again. But yeah, I'm kind of just, like, I'm not settling because I do like this. Well, I'm settling a little bit because it wasn't the original, but I think even though it wasn't my original idea, it doesn't make it, it doesn't mean it's a bad idea. I guess where I'm trying to go at. Let me see. Can y'all see? Oh, yeah, y'all can see this way better. Okay. Now that I'm, like, kind of drawing it in. But now I realize these are not equal, and I'm gonna have to, like, I think I should probably move this, like, up a little bit and, like, here. And then obviously that goes down and boop, 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 boop. And that would be kind of interesting if it went through the body, but that would be super interesting if it went through the body. But I don't know, I think I'm just gonna have it go behind. Oh my gosh, if y'all were interested in some of, like, the figures that I have saved and, like, pinned on my Pinterest, yeah, I don't know, they're just so, like, cool and dynamic. But okay, so yeah, the snake head goes there, and basically it'll be, like, looking at us, and it kind of just shows, like, I don't know, she's just trying to be her own person. But sometimes when you are, this is kind of, like, regarding, like, real life, when you're trying to be not trying to be something, but, like, when you're bettering your life and the people around you are kind of, like, holding you back, or you have, like, bad energy tied to you because of, you know, the people that you surround yourself with, or I don't know, just, like, maybe an alter ego. I don't know, that's just kind of what the snake represents and why it's, like, wrapped around the leg. I was thinking about doing a ribbon, like, on the end of the hand and the end of the leg, but I wasn't too sure about how I was feeling about the ribbon idea. I just think a snake is way cooler. I think that's probably why I was going there. I just think a snake is way cooler. So yeah, that's why I was going this route. I also realized I was telling my brother that I am working on how to speak about my art, and he actually had some really good advice. And it made me think about some of the things my professors have said about questioning why you do the things that you do when you are creating art. Like, I remember he asked me why. He was like, why would you make the sky blue, or why would you make the grass green? You can make the grass any color. And I was like, well, because grass is green. But he's like, no, but like, why did you make it that green? And I was like, in the moment, I was probably being hard-headed. Not probably. Where is my eraser? I was definitely being hard-headed, and like, I didn't really see where he was like saying. But I think after hearing it from my brother, I was like, oh wait, you're like cooking. And this was like during our like Japan trip, and now I'm like thinking like, okay, like, why am I doing this, or why am I adding a snake, or why this pose, or why the colors am I choosing? So I think that will it'll definitely help the way that I speak about my art if I could just explain why I choose some of my design elements, the colors, what's the meaning behind like certain things. And I think it'll also allow me to be more intentional about some of the things that I like do in my art. This is not equal and it's driving me nuts. This egg is taking a long time to like hatch. I forget how impatient I am, and this is taking a long time. I wish you guys could like see. Oh, well, I think you guys can see a little bit. But yeah, my child is taking a long time to hatch, and I'm gonna need them to hurry up. I haven't figured out what I'm gonna name them yet. I guess it just depends how like, I don't know what I'm feeling, but like, yeah, it's taking so long to hatch. I'm gonna need them to like speed it up. Like, figure it out, but I'll just have it there waiting until it decides to hatch or whatever. But back to like speaking, like learning how to talk about art. I just think that being more intentional about some of the things that I do, which is something that I've been doing much more now, is being intentional about like where I place things. Because even my professor would like I have like this all over my arm. My professor would like call me out on like things that I would do. So for example, he'd be like, oh, you're not using the entire like canvas. I'm like, what are you talking about? You don't know what you're talking about. I painted the whole thing. And he's like, well, no, like if my figure is here, right? And honestly, he would see this, right? And he'd be like, you need to cut like half of this off because you didn't utilize the space, even though there's gonna be like clouds and stuff here, right? That's why I'm kind of like adding the snake to utilize the space, but also to make it more, what's the word? Not cohesive, symmetrical. Yeah, since like it's almost hitting the edge, like the hand, and this isn't hitting the edge. So I think he would definitely like be on, oh my gosh, he'd be on my ass about this. He'd cut it off. Yeah, but I'm just way more intentional about how I place things. Like even my biblical angel, I really sat there and thought about, like, I was like, okay, this needs to be in the middle. But I think low-key, my painting professor had, like, major, what is it when you, like, things need to be a certain way? Is it OCD? I think it's OCD. Like, all of his, like, if you looked through all his paintings were, like, super symmetrical. It was, like, crazy. I was like, wow, that's, like, you like measure this out. And I'm kind of not really like a measuring person. I'm a little bit like, okay, let's go with the flow. Like if things happen, which I'm definitely still like that, but I just think a little bit more before making a decision sometimes. So then like I'm able to actually explain what's going on in my painting and why I chose some of the things. But I feel like sometimes like if I make a decision, I just made that decision because I felt like it, and there isn't really like a deep meaning about it. I just like the color, or I like how, which I also don't think that's a bad thing, making decisions in your painting just because you like a certain color, because I do that all the time. But I think just being able to explain. Let me not hit my painting. Just to be able to explain why you picked purple, or why you like purple, and why you picked blue, and why you think those things are like this. I think that's where my professor was trying to get at, which I get now. I wish I got it like, well, I think it's good that I got it eventually. I just like, I don't think I understood it in the moment. Ooh. Okay, hold on. I don't like the way that this is looking. I need to like, I feel like I need to like move this down a little bit. If this falls, I'm like gonna like tweak out a little bit. Is this? Yeah, y'all can still see it. Okay. Yeah, this is like way better. Okay. Ooh, yeah, I'm not, like, I still need to kind of fix some of the points here. I just want to make sure that this is like straight and this is straight and that's straight. But I realized when I was making this right here, it's not exactly straight, but it also might just be like my angle. And the thing is, like, when you're making art and stuff, I learned this it was in my figure drawing class, to like flip over your thing to make sure that things look right. Like, they might look right now, but then you flip it over, you're like, oof, no. It just, sometimes your brain just needs a different perspective. Like, have you ever heard people who just like, I need to take a break from like painting this certain painting, or like a drawing or something, because they've been looking at it for too long? And they just kind of need a fresh look. So sometimes they just have to take a break from like working on it. I guess it's kind of the same thing as looking at it with fresh eyes when you flip it over, because you've been looking at it, I guess, like this. So yeah, I kind of want to stand and do this, but my back's been like hurting. I don't know why it's been like hurting lately. I just think like sitting and doing this is very like, it's like much harder than like I want it to be. But also maybe it's because I'm trying to make like lines that match up. They don't have to be exactly, I'm not, okay, my thing is like, I'm not that much of like a perfectionist. I'm very okay with like having failed paintings, or like things just not looking right, because I can always correct it later. But I think I'm definitely just trying to make the corrections now so I don't have to make them later, because the likeliness of me making them later is like slim. And I remember I was talking about this with when I oil paint. Like, low-key, I want to use charcoal, because I just think something, like, I used to not be like a charcoal fan. Well, I'm still not really a charcoal fan. I still have my beef with compressed charcoal. I don't like compressed charcoal, but I do like extra soft charcoal. That stuff's amazing. Like, I wouldn't even need an eraser. I just like wipe it off with my hands, and like, it was never, well, I mean, obviously you still kind of like see it, but it's not like this, it's like less effort in my opinion. And I do like making things easy for myself. I have a hard time with like, because like, yeah, like making things easy for myself, but also like giving myself a challenge, which is why I don't use a projector. I just, like, I will never like talk down to people who do use projectors. I personally can't get behind it, because maybe if I was like super confident at like drawing figures, I'd be like, yeah, like I'm gonna use a projector. But since I'm not, I feel like I kind of have to at least learn the basics of how to draw a figure before I just like trace one on here. That's just my hot take. I think it's like much different when like people like draw their like sketch on Procreate and then they just kind of just put it on. I think that's kind of different than like copy and paste. I don't know if that makes sense, but that's just kind of how I see it. But yeah, I just don't want to like cheat myself out of like the learning experience, even though using it would cut my time like literally in half. I just, I don't know, like, does that make sense to y'all? Like, how do y'all feel about like people who use projectors? I don't mind it, to be honest. I just think, I think the only, what makes it problematic is like people who probably don't, I would say probably like, I don't know, who are not the strongest at drawing something, like a certain thing, and they're unwilling to like learn how to do it. I think that might be like a little problematic. But other than that, I think like a projector is just simply like a tool, and people should be allowed to use tools to help with creating like a painting. It's kind of like, well, it's not exactly the same as like counting heads, but like when people go like, I've been trying to do that and it doesn't work out for me. I feel like I'll be like, okay, 10 heads, and then I'll do it again. I'd be like 8, and I'd be like, I lost 2. What happened? So I don't know. I just think my mind doesn't really work that way. So usually in my figure drawing class, I don't count heads. But maybe it's because I haven't given it a fair chance. I feel like I did. See, this is the problem with being hard-headed. Like, sometimes I just need to, like, and just absorb what they're telling me and, like, think about it, because sometimes I can be a little dense. Like, I need to chill out a little bit. Especially, like, now. Well, okay, so I'm super, like, excited for, like, the school year, right? So, basically, I did, like, an override for my classes. And actually, while I talk, let me look for like a snake reference, because I need to draw like a snake on the other side. But for school, I did like an override because I really wanted to take 2 classes in particular. I want to take figure painting because I need to work on drawing figures. I honestly am not, I don't really like drawing figures, but I think I probably just don't like drawing figures because I'm bad at them. So I've been pushing myself to really go outside my comfort zone, because how in the world am I supposed to grow as an artist if I'm going to stay within my comfort zone, you know? So yeah, but basically I did an override to take figure painting, and I'm doing wheel throwing, which I'm really excited for. I didn't realize how much I would end up liking ceramics, but ceramics was, it was just such an enjoyable class for me that I was like, I need to take wheel throwing. And I loved the professor that I had for that class. It was just such like a great experience. Like, W her. I think the only thing is, like, since we are running out of time, since I took it for the spring semester, so I didn't have as much time to do wheel throwing, and I did a lot of hand building, and I wanted to give, like, wheel throwing is, like, where I was, like, I really like wheel throwing. Like, I like hand building too, but not nearly as much as wheel throwing, probably because, like, I was just, like, listening to my music, and it was, like, super, like, carefree kind of deal. But I can see how, like, a lot of people that I know, they're not too much of a fan, who are, like, ceramic majors, they're not, like, a fan of wheel throwing. And I think it's because they're kind of, like, perfectionists, which I can see that being kind of, like, stressful for, like, if you're trying to do something and it's just, like, not working out. But I was just like, we're just gonna create and see what happens, and I don't know if that's like a good or a bad thing, but yeah, that class I was kind of lollygagging. Like, I wasn't lollygagging, but I was lollygagging a little bit. I can't even lie. This is interesting. I don't know how I feel because it's kind of like too symmetrical. Let me see. I'm trying to look at some like examples of like snakes wrapped. Well, these are like the snakes that I'm looking at. So it's not like wrapped around anything, but I'm kind of just like guesstimating right now of like how a snake in theory would look wrapped around a leg. But okay, what if I like did like a, yeah, I'm gonna, I don't know. I think I might be overthinking this a little bit, but I'm trying. Ooh, I forgot. It doesn't like fit. Okay, so like if you could see where it's folding, yeah, I was like drawing and then like, cause this is low key, like it's too wide. Dang, this is still, it's too wide for this. But I could like flip it over, but the only reason why I didn't is because I would need something to hook to this side, and I would have to look for my, what are they? My clips. I had to look for my clips, and I just, honestly, I was feeling lazy and I didn't want to do it, so. Ooh, hold on. Okay, one wrap, two wraps. So wraps around here. I'm trying to make sure this is like kind of accurate to how it would like look like, but obviously I can only do so much. I think, wait, okay, so if it's wrapping around like this, let me like emphasize that. I feel like it's not emphasized. Okay, here, and wraps around there, here. All right, so it shouldn't, so if it comes out there, I'm just gonna do this, and then, yeah, like around the ankle, kind of like that, and maybe up. Yeah, I'm gonna do up and do like a little curve. It's not perfect, but it's good enough. I just need kind of like a base. I don't know how I'm feeling about the wrap though, to be honest. Hopefully I can feel much better about it once I actually like paint it. This is taking a long time to hatch. I like, maybe I'm just like, I'm definitely impatient, but I don't know. I just, this like, they're like marinating in here. You think this is gonna be an all day process? I hope this doesn't take like a day. I'd be like sick to my stomach if it took a day. What time is it? Okay, so it's, ooh, it's 12. This is, oh, the jet lag is bad. Oh my gosh, it's so bad. I should be like asleep right now, but I'm not. I'm trying not to like be too heavy handed because I don't like, I don't know. I just don't like the sound of it like hitting against this board. So I'm trying to like, I'm trying to make sure. Can you guys see? Oh yeah, you can kind of see. Not too much with like the leg part, but right here. Ooh, okay, no, I need to make this bigger because like honestly that would make no sense if like the body is smaller than like the body that's wrapping around right now. Okay, where's my eraser? I also need to be mindful of how the belly is gonna wrap, but usually I think about it after I kind of draw the silhouette of the snake. And then I'll think about the belly and how the scales are gonna fall on it. I think, honestly, the tail right here, I don't know if, yeah, the tail right here might be a little bit too, like, skinny. And maybe I need to make the, like, the wrap around the leg a little bit skinnier. But I'm not exactly sure if I'm gonna, I don't know. I don't know. It looks a little odd to me. I think, I don't know. I think I kind of want to make it a little bit more daintier. As, like, yeah, okay. Actually, scratch this. I think, let me look. Let me look at an example. Can long snakes be, like, small? Because usually when I see, like, long snakes, they're, like, really, they're, like, kind of big. But I think, like, the smaller snakes are usually, like, I don't know, small in size. So I've never seen, like, a long snake but be, like, dainty. But also, I could just make that up. I could really just make that up. I just, okay. Let me draw it out first before I, like, start doing crazy changes. Because I'm starting to think about doing crazy changes and I haven't even completed the first part of the snake. Okay, yeah, it gets like smaller. So like here. And then basically the face will be like looking out. I might just need to like stand back, but since I'm like so close to it, I am losing the vision a little bit. Or I can have it like turn. That'd be kind of cool. Okay, let me straighten out these lines a little bit and then make the head. Considering that I draw snakes, I've been drawing them pretty frequently. I still can't make like a snake head without a reference. Like, I'm starting to think like, man, I just need to go to like the pet store and take my own references of like a snake head. But also in the pet stores, you don't really see them like opening their mouth. So I guess it's also like a thing. Where some of these is maybe I should be more specific. Oh yeah, it's like still, I need this to hurry up. Okay, snake head, open. I don't know. I'm not too much of a fan of this size right now. But also, I don't want to take too much of like the foot, because then I feel like I'm covering, not covering, but I feel like it makes my job easier with creating the foot, like drawing in or painting in the foot, and I kind of don't want to make it easy for me to draw in the foot. Okay, so the head, let's have it like that thing going here, and then let's make the head like, ooh, that looks kind of crazy. Okay, hold on, let me like a little bit more like definition, and then we'll do something like that. Oh, this is okay, hold on, this might be cooking. And then I'll have the mouth open. I think that's dope. And then we'll have like that. Let me erase some of the things so then it can be more clear. Does that... I think I might have to... Let me see. How far is that? I might have to move it slightly so it's centered. It's a little off-centered. Huh. Is it off-centered? I don't know. It's hard to tell. Because if I do that... Maybe it's not off-centered. I think also I said I was going to move this a little bit more up because this isn't exactly... Not exactly, but it doesn't really make the same little hoop as this one. I'm so mad. I feel like my professor, like the way he looks at things, now I kind of look at that way and I'm like, I used to be so like careless when I would like paint, and now I'm like super ultra serious when I'm painting things. Which is not necessarily a bad thing, but also it's like, dang. I'm thinking a lot into this. That's like the mouth. Okay. And then I'm just gonna like kind of, these are like a little hypothetical like things. I think I might change these. I just need to see the vision a little more. And then I'll have like the tongue. I think that works out. That I do think I need to make this a little bit wider because it looks like this body, like this right here cannot support the head in a sense. So wait, I don't want to erase too much of like this little star sun thing I have going on, because I still need to keep like the idea. I also think, okay, so usually I make my snakes green, and I think I want to waver from making it green. Like, I'm constantly making it green, so I don't think I want to make it green this time. I don't know, I haven't, like, I'm thinking of doing red. I don't know, but also, if I do red, I might have to change how I want to do the background, because I was thinking about doing the background either like pink, like a pinkish green type of thing, like super, like I want to do the background super pastel. Like usually my backgrounds are super like bright and vibrant, but I don't think I've really gone like super like pastel. Probably in one, but like super soft. So I don't know if like making the snake red would not clash with the background, but I don't know if it will have as much impact if I make the snake red. I don't know if that makes sense. Like, I feel like if I do like a greenish brown, it'll have more, it'll pop more in the background. And if I do red, I feel like it might fall back into the background. But maybe if I put more of like a greenish pastel here around the snake, and I have like a red snake, then it won't just like fall into the background. I don't know. I hope that makes sense. I hope I'm not just like rambling and just like saying words just to say words. Because there's this one professor that I had, and he would just like talk and say nothing. Talk and say nothing, and it actually drive me insane. Because how are you saying so much and saying nothing at the same time? So I hope I'm not sounding like that. But I could very well be sounding like that. I'm I'm like really glad that I went live today, because I don't, it like took a lot to even like kind of put me back into like the flow. I was like sitting here like trying to prepare myself of like, what am I gonna say? Are people even gonna watch? Is like, I don't know. I just, yeah, I don't know. I'm definitely happy that I am streaming, and I definitely plan on like streaming much more, especially when the school, I say much more when the school year starts, and I feel like when the school year starts, I might be like, I need to take a nap. So hopefully I actually stand on business, and I don't just like, I'm gonna stream, blah, 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 and I don't do that. Because that would be like a severe, like, I don't know. It'd definitely be like a disservice to myself, especially for like the things that I want to do with my like art career. Even though like I don't quite understand the why it's frowned upon to like um film your process or have an online shop and you should only be in the galleries. I think it's dumb. Like, I think it's really dumb. Like, it makes no sense why you would like limit the amount of impact that your art can have to like um only like, of course I have like I have a painting in a gallery right now, but of like there's nothing wrong with galleries, but I think just saying like, oh, your art should only be in galleries and not online, I think it's crazy, because then you're limiting the amount of people that can see your art and your process, and uh I guess what your art like represents. Which I saw this, who was it? I was watching someone, and someone was like, the only people who say that like oh, your art should only be in galleries and they shouldn't be just like posted on the internet. You shouldn't have like an online shop. People are saying that only people who say they're nepo babies. Um, I don't know. I think nepo babies are not the only people that say that. I hear it from like a lot of different types of people, but I also think that some people think that people who do post their art on the internet or have an online shop or like sell on Etsy are less than artists and like people who are in galleries, which makes no sense to me. That's like weird. Or um I've like met people who are like, oh, the people who don't go to art school don't take their art seriously, and it's just like I don't know. That's just so crazy. I feel like YouTube University like uh teaches a lot. I think the only problem, like, I would say the major difference between like learning art on YouTube University and learning art in person is that because I did take like a gap year, a 2-year gap year before even doing this. I was like painting online and like drawing online. Those back like those were like really bad. I was like good at like drawing, but I wasn't good at like painting. And then it was like 2020 I started like painting because we were locked in the house. So like what else am I supposed to do? And I really started like tapping into it. Like I think the difference between like learning then and learning now is that I learned things that I wasn't searching for, I guess, if that makes sense. Like, for example, my professor would say, like, the reason why I put this snake here, right, was to make it more symmetrical because I noticed, like, the hand is, like, almost, not off, but it's, like, very close to the edge. But also when I was looking at it, I was like, if someone just looks at the figure, I feel like they look at the figure and then their eyes go off of the painting, and I didn't want people's eyes to go off the painting. So I'm trying to figure out a way to like make sure the viewer is looking at the whole painting and not just like the figure. So I added this snake for like to add a symmetrical element, but also my professor would look at this and say that I'm wasting like half of this because there's nothing here, even though it's gonna be like clouds in the background. But because I yeah, but that's why I kind of have like the snake tail kind of going this far, or like the snake taking up more space, kind of like how the hand stops here, the snake stops there. So that's just how I kind of look at things now. But yeah, I don't know, stuff like that makes me like actually really upset for people who are just like, oh, you need to do this to be a like a real artist, or you have to do that to be a real artist. It's like if someone draws and paints and they take it seriously, then I think they are a real artist, whether they went to art school or not art school. Like if people, I feel like if people take the time to learn how to draw and create and like make something that like I don't know, speaks. It's just like, why is there so many steps to like qualify a person as a real artist? Like, it's just silly to me. I think compared to university and like not going to university, I didn't know how to approach galleries, which is so strange. Now they just kind of like throw them at you when you're at university. They're just like, here's all these gallery shows, like apply. But now, since the page is public, honestly, people who don't go, you could just follow the page and then see all like the art gallery callings. So like if you didn't know and you're trying to get into a gallery, that's kind of how I would go that route. I would like follow an account that's like a school account, not a school, yeah, it's like a school account, and it'll be like the art school, and they'll be like, oh, here's this, here's that, and they kind of just post things, not like all things, but like a lot of opening shows and gallery shows and stuff like that. Did my internet just go off? You're not connected. I hope. Is the internet connection okay for y'all? I guess I'll figure it out. It looks like it's fine, but I don't know. Like, my bars are really low. My Duolingo keeps bothering me. I, like, lost my streak. I think it was, like, how long was my streak? I feel like it was, like, 100 days. And I lost it, and Duolingo won't stop bothering me. So now I'm in this, like, predicament with Duolingo. And I'm like, Duolingo, please. Please stop bothering me. Okay, now I need to think about how I'm going to make the clouds. Well, I don't have to think that deep into making, well, yeah, I don't have to think that deep into, like, making the clouds. I just kind of want to make the clouds, like, curve in. That would be, like, kind of like a cool effect if the clouds, like, kind of curved and stuff. That'd be super interesting. Yeah, maybe, like, something like the clouds curving. Huh. Now that I've kind of, like, sketched, oof, I forget, y'all can't really see. I've, like, done it really lightly. Let me, like, so then y'all can also see. Well, I feel like also you guys can, like, read my mind, but if you can kind of see the vision, you might, like, see it a little bit. If I just, like, darken up some of these lines. I remember someone asked me if I use fixative when I, like, sketch like this. And even when I'm using charcoal, I don't use fixative. I think, like, fixative is, like, super toxic. And I feel like you don't necessarily need to use fixative. Like, yeah, it's nice so you don't lose your sketch, but I don't think it's... I don't know. I usually just put, like, a light layer of paint on and then hope for the best that I can still see my sketch. Sometimes I lose it a little bit, but it's not, like, the end of the world. I just think using fixative is not worth it for the amount of toxic chemicals that it has. And I also, it would be different if I was, like, on campus or in, like, a studio or something. But right now my studio is my living room, so I'm not going to spray that, especially since, like, we have pets and stuff. But yeah, I don't know. I just, like, I have it because my brother had it. He has fixative because he, like, he's one of those, like, people who, like, draw a lot. Like, I draw, but, like, I'm like a painter. That's what I am. And so he doesn't really draw too much on paper too much because he's, like, an animation major. So he just kind of gave me all the stuff that he has. And I've had that fixative and I have not used it. I don't even know where it's at. I think it's somewhere in a box that, like, I don't know. It's just, like, something that I'm, like, I don't need to use it, so I'm not going to. That's kind of how I feel about paint thinner. I actually really like using it when I'm in class in a well ventilated area, but since I'm here, it's just, I don't need to use it. I would like to use it. I feel like it'd make my paintings turn out slightly better, but it's not like a necessity that I have to use paint thinner to make, like, a good painting. I think the only thing is when I'm not using paint thinner, I feel like I have to use more linseed oil. And linseed oil comes into, like, that small bottle. And I'm just, like, I am, like, savoring the amount that I have in here because I kind of don't want to buy another thing of linseed oil. Even though I've already accepted the fact that I'm going to have to spend a bag when school starts. And that's in, like, a few weeks. So I'm just, like, yeah, like, I'm gonna be, like, broke in the next coming weeks, especially since, so for my first painting class, a lot of my supplies were given to me from, like, a friend because she was required. I don't know if she was required to take a painting class, but she chose to take a painting class because she, like, thought that she would like it. And then when she, like, took it, she was like, no, this is not for me. But also, I think she wasn't too fond of the professor. Because I don't know. I feel like, okay, grad students is, like, a hit or miss. Either they're, like, really good or they're, like, not so good at teaching. So, like, that might also been the fact it was a grad student. So, like, it kind of just, like, depends. Like, for example, my ceramics class, I had a grad student. She was wonderful. I'll take another class from her. She was great. Like, she taught me so much about ceramics and how to, like, I don't know, because since she was like such a risk taker with ceramics, she knew how to fix a lot of her problems. Yeah. But I think the problem that she had with her professor when she was taking a painting class, I honestly, is my biggest pet peeve is like professors that have brand loyalty to like certain brands, especially if they're expensive brands. And that's kind of how she was. She had like brand loyalty to like certain brands. So she's like, okay, you guys have to get these colors. And keep in mind, she got I feel like she probably didn't get no more than like 10 colors, and all the tubes are like probably about like this big. And she spent $500 because she got like the most expensive brand. And I was like, oh, like my painting class was not like that. Of course, he had like suggestions. He didn't have like brand loyalty, but he was like, hey, guys, like when you're buying paint, like, he's like, I would prefer you guys buy pure and not like a hue of the color. But he's like, you can buy a hue, but I would prefer if you didn't. You know, it was like a suggestion. But like for her, it was kind of like, no, like you need to get this, you need to get these colors. Although the colors that he did ask for, I did get all the colors that he asked for. Even funky ass orange, I really I'm sorry, I'm like a strong orange hater. Like I use orange. I use orange a lot in my paintings. I'm just a strong orange hater. And it's just like I just couldn't fathom buying orange when I was like, I can literally take red and yellow and make orange, and you want me to buy a tube of orange? I did. I don't even think I used it, but I don't know. Let's not talk about it. But even after she gave me all of her supplies, because I had to buy like 20 colors, I still ended up spending like $300 or $400 just on paint and paintbrushes. This is like I haven't even gotten like the canvases. So I think, yeah, that was definitely like, and now that I have two painting classes, I feel like our intermediate painting class, one, they're gonna want us to use much bigger canvases than what I was ever using in my like beginner one painting. Even though we were using pretty big canvases for the most part, they were like, I think they had to be a minimum of like 30 inches or something like that. So I do feel like they're probably gonna end up going bigger. So not only am I gonna have to buy bigger brushes, I have to buy more paint because I did a lot of oil painting this summer. So I'm definitely gonna have to like buy some oil paint, and then I feel like I might have to buy like almost doubles of certain colors because I have another painting class, which is the figure painting class. But I feel like it'll probably be a much more limited color palette since it is like a figure painting class. So probably like a lot of like browns, reds, like white, any like colors that make like fleshy tones. I feel like that's kind of what we'll be using. And then like my intermediate class, I don't know what's to expect in that class. I just really hope, I really hope that we're not like making still lives. If we're making still lives, I'm gonna be sick to my stomach. Like I will make an apple in some sort of weird galaxy world if I have to. I'll like turn it into surrealism if I have to, because I just like I don't mind still life. I just get really bored of still life. Like I want to do something fun. Like if it was like something where he's like, if you like put it down, it's like, okay guys, draw this still life and make it surrealism for your mind. I'd be so down for that. Like I think that would be like such a fun, like cool exercise. Although I feel like my peers probably won't like it. I would enjoy that. It would be like really fun for me. But yeah, for I don't know. I don't want to see no more still lives, no more apples, no more. Although I fear it might be like for a first. I also don't really. Oh, this is pretty. Thank you, thank you. I also don't want to see low-key. I don't want to make a self-portrait. I like made one, and I didn't even finish it. I don't know. I just am not a big fan of like painting myself. Maybe if I can I see? Oh my gosh, yes. Okay. Hold on. It's like it's like hatching, and it's been like, I don't know, it's been taking its time. It's hard to, exactly, I don't know, I'm just not like, I don't really like drawing people like that. So like, this is like me trying to push myself outside my comfort zone, because I feel like I'm gonna have to like do this in my intermediate painting class, and I need to make sure that I look like that I know how to draw. There's a new one out. Oh yeah, this is like, this one's like the first gen. I've never had one, so I didn't know that there was like different ones. My friend got like the second generation one, and she already killed hers. So I'm like really scared right now. But yeah, it's like still hatching. So I just like, I thought it would be like super cool to like draw and then have like my little tamagotchi like just hatching, and like I have the sound on and everything, or I think I have the sound on. But yeah, they have been like marinating so far, so I'm just like waiting for it to hatch. I've been thinking about a name. I'm like, what am I gonna name them? Like, what if it hatches and it's chopped? Like, but yeah, I just have it hanging here until it decides to hatch. Hopefully during stream. I'd be kind of sad if like I ended stream and it like decided to hatch. So I'm kind of just like waiting a little bit so it can like hatch on stream. But I hope this is not like an all day process, because I'm low-key a little bit impatient. And I've been like, honestly, I took a break off streaming because I've been like out of the country. So like I'm trying to get back into like, I don't know, like my regular routine. And especially since like I'm like jet lagged, so it's like past my bedtime low-key. Like I usually go to bed at like 10, but since I'm like super jet lagged, I'm like pretty awake right now. But yeah, I thought it would be interesting. And then I was talking about like school. Because school is starting soon, and yeah. But basically, okay, since I have a few people watching, I'll go over like what this like painting is about. And by the way, I'm painting on like a canvas pad. It's almost 1 a.m. Yeah, it's like, yeah, it's 12:48 for me too right now. So I'm like I'd like low-key need to be asleep, but I'm just like, no, like let me stream. Like I'm up, like I've already kind of started this sketch, and I really want to finish the sketch while I'm on stream, which I think it's pretty done. I probably should just grab my paint and start doing the underpainting, but low-key I'm getting a little lazy, I'm not gonna lie. But basically, so yeah, I've been just trying to focus on doing like figures and stuff, because I'm not the best at making them. Like I know that's my weak point, so I just need to like work on them. And I was definitely one of those people a couple years ago. Like I would draw a figure and their hands would be like behind their back because I can't draw hands. I was like, no, we need to make some dynamic poses and stuff like that. So also I have a problem with making my people super stiff, which is why I choose people who are doing like dance poses, because usually they're like dynamic, and it's just enough like stimulation for me to like, I don't know, make it interesting. But I think also I don't like the process of drawing a figure because I'm not good at it. So I'm trying to enjoy the process of making a figure. I did last time. Like I made this super huge like angel painting. That was amazing. So I hope that this also turns out just as good. But since I'm in the process of like moving, and my living room is my art space for the time being, I think this will probably be an acrylic. Unless I change my mind, I could just do like acrylic and then like do oil over it, but I don't think I'm gonna do oil over it. I think I'm just gonna do acrylic and kind of hope for the best. But basically this is like kind of like a sky, so I'm sure, yes, I'm like super excited. I want to try like a little bit different colorway this time, since like, I don't know, it's something about when I'm using a canvas pad, I have a little less, I think I'm a little more adventurous when it comes to doing certain things. So I think I want to go like super pastel, so the figure and the snake can really pop out. And I've decided that I don't think I'm going to do the snake green, because I've done all the snakes that I've ever like painted, they were green or some sort of brownish green. So I think I'm probably going to do some sort of like red. I think that would be really cool. And this right here, basically, I I thought of this idea in my car like yesterday, 2 days ago, something like that. But this right here, basically, it's going to be gold. I have gold paint. I'm not exactly sure if I'm gonna put like gold leaf on it yet. I'm still like debating that because I feel like if I put gold leaf on it, the type of gold leaf I have might distort the shape a little bit. So I'm a little unsure if I want to do that yet, but yeah, basically it's like gold and then the snake head, it's like looking at you. And then like the meaning of this painting is kind of like a push and pull of like good and evil in a sense, which is why I have like the snake kind of like wrapped around. And this can mean like a lot of things. I was kind of thinking of like when you're trying to do better for yourself and there's just people around you who just kind of just steal energy from you, or I don't know. That's kind of what I was going with. Because like the state of the world right now, yeah. I don't know, yeah. And then it was weird because I thought of this idea when I was listening to a rock song. Originally the pose was supposed to be different, but I couldn't find like a reference. So I just went with this pose, which I still think I might go with the original idea at a different point if this one turns out really well. But yeah, that's kind of how this process is going. I still think it's like super interesting that like I wasn't expecting to get like like the flow of ideas coming back, but I've been like super excited to paint for a while now. So yeah, I don't know, but honestly I feel like my idea is pretty like, I'm just really waiting for this thing to like hatch. And the problem is too, right? Okay, so I kind of want to start the underpainting, but my problem is right now, so since I'm moving, they're like in boxes and I have no idea which box is in. I have an idea where my oil paint is because that was like the last thing I used. Like I have these, I don't know, but then I can also use these paint markers and kind of just like solidify my lines and stuff, which I might do. Because usually since I put like a thin layer, but low-key it ends up not being a thin layer because of just low-key I'm just heavy-handed with paint. So maybe I'll like I should like sketch this actually. I think I'm gonna use pink. Ooh, I think it might, nah, it's fine, whatever. Am I stalling a little bit? But oh my gosh, I have like lead all over myself. But yeah, I'm trying to be like more active on here and stuff like that too. And I realize how hard like streaming is, especially when you can't like play music especially on YouTube. You can't really like play music because I'll get copyrighted, and I don't know, I don't want to get copyrighted, but it also teaches me how to learn how to, I guess, create good content that people actually want to watch. So yeah, I do a lot of like short form content, and I feel like my short form is pretty good for the most part. I'm just working on how to make more long form content, which is definitely like a hurdle that I'm trying to overcome. So yeah. And I don't know, does anyone know how long it takes for like my little tamagotchi to like hatch? Because I really don't know. Like, this is really cute. And I kind of regret, my only regret, I wish I bought like 2, but I only bought 1. So yeah. And I'm just like, man, like when this thing hatches, let's see how long I'll keep it alive, because that's gonna be a trip. Because I don't know if I told y'all, so my sister also got one. And she started hers on, I think it was like our last day of Japan. And she texted me like, and keep in mind, I came back like 4 days ago. She texted me like 2 days ago, and she told me her thing died. And I was like, you're a bad mom. What? How did you kill it? Like, what? But then, like, I think she might have forgotten about it. And I fear that might be me too. So we'll see. Maybe I'll just like have it. Maybe it'll be like a motivation for me to stream, and I'll just like have it up here, and then like y'all can interact with it. I don't know. I just think it would be interesting. But yeah, I'm just gonna. All right, I'm gonna do the snake first because I'm not too sure if I want to solidify how that looks now. How's it gonna look like? Hold on. Okay, this looks interesting. At least now I won't lose my sketch. I know for a fact I won't lose my sketch. I'm a little nervous about like it mixing into my marker, but I think it'll be fine. It's not that deep. I could just, yeah, it's not that deep. Okay, wait. Something like that. That looks scary. Like, with no like paint. Or not paint, but like no. And then I can always change it, so it's like not that deep. I think I'm gonna do like a orange underpainting. That's usually what I usually go for, like an orange underpainting. I couldn't really tell you why. I don't know. I like super vibrant and warm paintings. Like every time I try to make a painting that doesn't have color in it, I end up like, it's almost like it has like an indie filter on it, which is why I've decided to not really listen to music when I paint anymore. If anything, I usually just watch a show, because usually, like, sometimes unintentionally my music will influence the way that I paint. Okay, hear me out when I say this. When I say influence, like, for example, I made, like, this angel painting, right? And the colors were supposed to be a little bit more muted than it turned out to be. And I, like, yeah, I could take accountability, but I'm gonna blame it on music. I'm gonna blame it on music. Like, I was listening to my indie playlist, and I guess it was just sounding so good that I just had to paint it on I had to paint it on, so basically every time I listen to indie music, it just puts on like an indie what's it called, an indie filter over. So that's why I'm like, I kind of don't really want to like listen to music while I paint, because it just like influences, like, even sometimes when I listen to rock, like my brushstrokes get a little more expressive. Like, it's, I don't know, it's so crazy to think about. But I think definitely with this painting, I want to go more of the impressionism. I think this was called impressionism type of deal. But I want to do like pastel colors, so it's super like ethereal and stuff like that, which I feel like a lot of my artwork is. But yeah, I also feel like, okay, so I have this like dilemma, because I feel like I have a style, but I feel like my style is like, how can I explain this? Like, since I kind of dabble in a lot of, I guess, stylistic choices and like color palettes, that I don't have a super strong like style that like people are just like, oh, I know she makes this. Besides like my biblical angels, I feel like that's pretty like staple. But I feel like other than that, my art is, I don't know, I'm still working on like my style and like my painting identity. So like I think that's what I've been like focusing on a lot. Because my friends say I have a style, but I feel like it's nowhere near as established as their styles. And I'm not trying to, like, compare, even though it seems that way. But I was trying to, like, I don't know. I guess they don't really see it that way. They're just like, oh, like you kind of have like a style, like a style, or like things that I think for a fact, like my sky is pretty like, I think it's consistent through like all of my paintings. But I think the way that I use my brush strokes, or I paint, or like the colorways are kind of different, or even like the subject matter. I just like things to stay interesting. So when I get bored, I just will move on to another thing. But also when I post on social media, I'll post even like the things that are just like practice paintings. Like for example, I really like what do I really like? I really like doing landscapes. But you see how like that kind of like people start to lose like what your style is, because like, oh, she does landscape, oh, she does still lifes, she draws figures, but also she does surrealism. And then it's like, I don't know, maybe it's because I'm indecisive, or maybe it's because like I just, my style hasn't developed enough, because with time it also comes to developed style. So it might just be that. So I'm not exactly sure, but I do know from my the past couple of paintings, like I've had like snakes in a lot of elements. I know like a couple years ago, it was giraffes, like giraffes, everything in every painting. So it's, I don't know, but it could also just be like the way that my growth has gone, and I've just kind of grown in a different direction. But see, like my paintings a couple years ago, it was very like whimsical, and I feel like the element of whimsical is still there, but also sometimes I geared off from it. I don't know. I don't really know how to explain it. I feel like people would probably just have to look at my page and kind of get it. Like, for example, I did a single line drawing. That is super different from all of the other type of artwork that I do. And so I feel like when people saw it, they're like, who is this person and why am I following them? And I was like, no, guys, like, I swear it's me. But I just posted the one line drawing because it's something that I did for, like, it was a, what was it? It was a project for, like, college. And I know a lot of people are super interested in, like, my college content. So I do try to be, like, post a lot of what I do and pretty transparent of, like, the things that I do. Like, the cost of, like, going to college, how I'm paying for it. So just, like, things like that. This is looking pretty interesting. I don't know. I didn't think about if this is going to be filled or not. I just realized that. Ooh. Oh my gosh. I was also having a problem with, like, what my figure is going to wear. I was like, are we going to keep kind of what she's wearing right now? Are we going to put a dress on her? But I was like, no, I made those awesome legs. Like, I kind of don't want to put a dress on her. And I was like, what if we make it sheer? But I was like, I feel like if I make it sheer, it might suggest a different type of meaning. So I'm not sure. And I was thinking about a leotard because, like, she's like a dancer. So that could also work. I'm just not exactly sure. The only thing that kind of geared me off of not putting a leotard, because I feel like a leotard might be kind of boring, and I was trying to think of ways to make a leotard more creative, but the wheels have not been turning. They're kind of like stopped. So also, by the way, guys, if this live just ends, it's because my phone died. So I really hope that my phone doesn't die before this thing hatches. I thought it was on like 100%. I could have swore it was. But I'm like not too sure because my phone's like, hey, I'm on 20% by the way. And I'm like, ooh, like you're on 20%. I need this thing to like hatch. Also, off topic, I got this really cool ring and it like spins. Like, This is like the best purchase that I ever like got, and I didn't even know they existed, and I feel like I need all my fingers to have like little moving rings like this. But yeah, that's like super off topic, but yeah, if it dies, I'm sorry, y'all. Like, it might just have to hatch off of stream. What else? This is turning out pretty good. I'm actually surprised, and I'm like, I don't know, I still have the energy. I think I've been streaming for, looks like 90 minutes, like an hour and a half or so. Cause let's see, yeah, it's like, I don't know what time it is for y'all, but for me right now it's 1:06. Also, by the way, I got this phone case from there too when I was in Thailand. This is probably like one of also like my favorite purchases. I just like love the case. But yeah, I need my phone to like get with the program. Okay. I don't know if I should trace the figure yet. You know what? Whatever. I'm just gonna trace it. It's because I was changing the figure so much because I was unhappy with the legs. But I'm just gonna commit to the process right now. Cause like cause I don't think I'm gonna change anything. I think I'm pretty happy with how the figure is looking. And then I'll just have to like draw in the other elements, like the more like detailed parts. I just feel like I don't really need to do that now since it's what is it? It's just the sketch. I'll just do it during like the underpainting process. And even then, because the way I was like hesitating right now is just like kind of crazy. See, that's the thing. That's why I'm trying to, you know, paint figures. I hesitate a lot more when I'm painting figures because I am, I don't know. I definitely need to be more confident in it. Like it's not that I'm not confident, it's that I'm just super aware of what my abilities are and aren't. I don't know if that makes sense. Like for example, I would say my strong suits is like backgrounds. Like none of my friends, they all say this, they cannot paint a background for their life. Like if you give them a landscape and you tell them to paint it, they're gonna like look at you like you were crazy. But like me, I'm like, yeah, I'll paint a landscape, sky, this, that, animals, without even a second thought. But as soon as you put a person in front of me, I'm like, you want me to draw that? Like, even myself, like oh my gosh, when I had to draw myself for a project, I didn't even finish it. I was like so not into the project. I was like, I don't want to do this. So I feel like if I get better at it, I will more than likely like drawing figures, which I feel like I'm starting to become that way. But I realized that I prefer drawing like full body figures than like head and shoulder type of, yeah, I like drawing the entire figure, which is what I've noticed so far since doing this. I don't know what it is about like drawing the whole figure. I think like when I did draw figures, my problem is I like to do things outside my comfort zone, and I feel like if I'm not doing the full figure, then I'm not doing things outside my comfort zone. Because when I did draw figures, I would just draw like head, shoulder type of deal, and I wouldn't do the full body because that was like really outside my comfort zone. I was like, this is like no. But I just think when I see like full body paintings, it's so much more interesting to me. Um unless the face painting has like other elements going on, like either whether in the background or like with the actual figure, whether it's more of like a surrealism take. I always find that pretty interesting. I feel like a mosquito. Did a mosquito bite me? I feel like a mosquito like bit me just now. I don't know. And then even I remember in my figure drawing class, like I thought I was eating up. Like I was like, oh yeah, like I'm doing so good. And then my professor comes and he's like, that is not how a neck is supposed to look like. I'm like, really? And he's like, yeah, no. And I was like, oh, okay. Which like I'm not one of those people that like get super butthurt about like constructive criticism. Constructive. I don't like criticism that isn't constructive, because then I was like, not only did you just destroy my hopes and dreams, it wasn't constructive. Although my hopes and dreams are never destroyed by the things people say, but yeah, I actually prefer when people give me like constructive criticism, because then I can either defend my work or um learn something from like something that I did, I guess. Cuz something about me, I will defend my work to the T. Like lopsided arms and everything. Delusional? Maybe, but we're not talking about delusion. Oh yeah, like twist, and then this egg still hasn't hatched, and it's like really like it's like driving me nuts. Like, do I have to press one of these buttons? Like, I wanted to hurry up. This is, I'm losing my patience really bad. And when did I open this? It's been like, I didn't open it like as soon as the stream started, so it's probably been like an hour and 10. Oh my gosh, my phone's on 10%. Okay, y'all. I don't know. I want to wait for it to hatch, but also I'm like, y'all, my phone is dying. Like, maybe I can charge it real fast, and then when it hatches, I'll like come back on. But then there's a slight chance that I might not come back on, which is probably more than likely. I don't know. I really like that arm. Like, I like the arm a lot. I'm actually gonna be super upset. Like, I just feel like as soon as I end this stream, that stupid thing is gonna hatch. And then, like, oh my gosh. That would actually make me so upset. Maybe I'll just make like a post about it, and I'd be like, I don't even know what I'm gonna name it. Ooh, that would actually be pretty fun. I might have y'all name it. Cool names though. See, okay. The thing is, I kind of don't want to trace that arm because I'm not too happy about how that arm looks. I don't like how, like, how there's like not lead. It's like super dark, which I figured it was gonna. Okay, focus. I figured it was gonna be like that, but now I kind of have to like deal with the consequences of my actions because I didn't want to go get my paint. But honestly, if I do end up coming back on stream, I'm just gonna start the underpainting because at this point I'm just like kind of stalling a little bit. I couldn't tell you why I'm stalling, but I am. I think I just like, I should have just brought my paint out before I started it, but honestly I didn't think I was gonna finish the sketch this fast. So I think that's like, I think I'm getting tired. That was crazy. I was not expecting that. I was like, oof. It just like hit me. But then I feel like if I like were to go to sleep right now, I tried to do this yesterday. I tried to go to sleep at a reasonable time. Well, it wasn't reasonable. It was like 2 a.m. and then I was up till 4. So maybe it's because I went out of my way not to sleep during the day, so my schedule can kind of be like fixed in a way. But I think that makes sense. Okay. Honestly, yeah, y'all. I'm gonna have to end the stream because I don't want my phone to just like die. But yeah, thank y'all for watching. Y'all tell my little Pookie Wazuki good night, and make sure you leave a like and subscribe. Hopefully I'm on tomorrow. But anyway, bye chats.